And this is crushing news and crisis out of England. As you know, John, I mean, you're 3 nights a week at the Salisbury, where they filmed that Philip Seymour Hoffman movie years ago. Greene King to close down some of their pubs, and they're talking about 800 jobs. John, this is a crisis in England. The pubs are closing.
They are closing down. They're not being shut down by the government, but effectively the rules that the government has produced, Tom, has made life very difficult for some of these businesses. It's a problem. And I also have a problem with this idea of creative destruction in a pandemic. I think once we have a vaccine, Tom, people might want to go to the pub. Now, I don't think you can make the case in a pandemic that you should embrace creative destruction, because the rules are going to change, we hope, in about 12 months' time. And that would be my pushback. If you want to expose the economy to the rules of the free market, do it when we don't have COVID restrictions. Maybe that's a better idea.
Yeah, and John, what's so important here, and I don't know if you agree with me, you know, the headlines of the airline industry, Speaker Pelosi talking about 20,000, 30,000. But before we get to Mr. Porcelli, John Ferro, the micro data, small businesses in Greene King with 800 jobs, they add up into those big job cuts.
Of course they do, and the companies that serve the city as well, Tom. If people aren't coming into London, coming into New York, if those offices aren't full, if people aren't working in those hubs, then the peripheral businesses that support them aren't getting business either. That's how these things spiral very quickly. But on the airlines, Tom, I've got skin in the game. Quite clearly, I'm in London, you're in New York, and we're trying to get me back at some point in the future. The corridor between New York and London is really, really important. And it's been shut down because governments have shut it down. It's barely functioning right now. They need to sort out testing at the airports over in New York and in London as well, and they still haven't got it done when other countries around the world are getting it done. It's not just about throwing money at them for aid to bail them out. It's about getting the planes in the sky and helping people get back to work and getting these businesses up and running.
Well,